Meta earned $134 billion from ads in 2024. Some of those ads were traps. Somewhere inside Meta's ad review infrastructure, there is a document category called violating advertiser accounts. Internal records show these accounts were flagged, suspended, and then reinstated. The lawsuits don't dispute that. Meta hasn't explained it either. For most of its public life, Meta has positioned its ad platform as a system with safeguards, community standards, advertiser policies, automated detection. The pitch was simple. Bad actors get caught. The platform self-corrects. That was the brand promise. What the lawsuits describe is different. Not a system that caught bad actors, a system that processed them and kept running. Scam ads on Meta platforms aren't a new complaint. They're a documented pattern. Australian regulators, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, and multiple US state attorneys general have each independently flagged the same mechanism. Fraudulent advertisers using Meta's own targeting tools to reach victims with surgical precision. The targeting wasn't incidental. The targeting was the product. Here's what the targeting actually looked like. Meta's ad system allows advertisers to filter by age, income bracket, financial interest, and investment behavior. Scam operators use those filters to find people actively searching for investment opportunities. Not random users, selected ones. The platform that knows you better than your bank handed that knowledge to the people trying to rob you. Meta's standard defense is detection. The company regularly publishes transparency reports citing billions of fake accounts removed, hundreds of millions of ads rejected. The numbers are real. The reports are real. But here is what those reports don't include. How many flagged advertisers were allowed to continue running after the flag? How many accounts were removed only after the fraud had already completed? How many victims filed reports that were processed, closed, and never escalated? Detection and prevention are not the same thing. Meta's reports measure one. The lawsuits allege the other never happened. One of the plaintiffs in the U.S. litigation is a retired teacher. She saw a sponsored post on Facebook, a celebrity-endorsed investment opportunity. The celebrity's face was real. The product was fabricated. The ad had passed Meta's automated review. She lost her savings. She reported the ad. Meta's system logged the report. The ad kept running for 11 more days. 11 days. She wasn't alone. The lawsuit consolidates claims from dozens of plaintiffs across multiple states. Similar profile, older users, financial interests visible in their behavioral data, targeted by ads using deepfake video or stolen celebrity imagery. The common thread isn't just the scam, it's the pipeline. Every one of them was reached through a paid, approved, algorithmically optimized Meta ad placement. The scam didn't find them. The platform delivered them. Internal research at Meta, referenced in court filings partially surfaced during the 2021 congressional testimony period, indicated the company had identified coordinated inauthentic behavior patterns in financial advertising sectors. Identified, documented, categorized. They had a name for it. They had a file for it. They had a category. They didn't have a solution they were willing to deploy. Here is the financial architecture that makes this uncomfortable. Meta charges per impression, per click, per conversion. Scam ads, by design, are engineered to maximize engagement, high urgency, emotional triggers, false scarcity. These are the same signals Meta's algorithm rewards with lower cost per click and wider distribution. The algorithm didn't just allow the scam ads, it optimized for them. Meta's public position has been that it actively invests in safety. The company has cited a $5 billion annual safety and security budget. Sheryl Sandberg, during her tenure as COO, described ad integrity as a core commitment. But in the same period those statements were made, Meta was simultaneously lobbying against regulatory frameworks in the EU, in Australia, in the UK, that would have imposed external verification requirements on financial advertisers. Safety as a budget line. Safety as a public commitment. and active opposition to the mechanisms that would have enforced it. Those three things existed simultaneously. The Australian case is the sharpest example. In 2022, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission filed suit against Meta, specifically alleging the company profited from scam ads featuring the likenesses of Australian public figures, including Dick Smith and Andrew Forrest, without their consent and without adequate verification. Forrest filed his own separate criminal complaint. Meta's response to the ACCC: the company argued it was a publisher, not responsible for advertiser content. The same company that charges premium rates for precision targeting called itself a passive publisher when the liability arrived. The publisher defense has a specific legal history. Section 230 of the U.S. Communications Decency Act gives platforms broad immunity for third-party content. Meta has used this shield in multiple scam ad cases, but the lawsuits now being filed are constructed to challenge exactly that framing. The argument: Meta isn't being sued for hosting the content. It's being sued for selling the delivery mechanism, for taking payment to place the ad, for profiting from the transaction. That's not a publisher function. That's an advertiser function. And Section 230 was never written to cover that. In 2023, a whistleblower complaint, filed with the SEC and later referenced in legal proceedings, alleged that Meta's ad review team had internal quotas, not quotas for catching violations, quotas for processing volume, speed of review, number of cases closed. The metric wasn't accuracy. The metric was throughput. Under that system, a fast wrong answer counted the same as a slow right one. Meta generated $131.9 billion in ad revenue in 2023, roughly 98% of total revenue. The ad platform isn't a feature of Meta's business. It is Meta's business. Every policy decision about advertiser verification, every threshold for what triggers a flag, every resource allocation inside the trust and safety team, all of it exists inside a company whose survival depends on advertiser volume. That's not an accusation. That's an org chart. Mark Zuckerberg testified before the U.S. Senate in April 2023. Senator John Thune asked him directly about fraudulent ads targeting older Americans. Zuckerberg said the company takes the issue very seriously and has invested significantly in detection. 18 months later, the consolidated lawsuit was filed citing continued instances of the same patterns, same age demographic, same financial targeting, same deepfake methodology, testimony and outcomes, both on the record. The lawsuit's most specific allegation isn't about the scam ads themselves. It's about what happens after a victim reports one. According to court filings, Meta's standard response to a scam ad report is a system-generated acknowledgement, followed by a review queue that, in the documented cases, averaged between 7 and 14 days. During that window, the ad continued to run. The advertiser continued to pay. Meta continued to collect. The report didn't pause the ad, it started a timer. There's a term that appears in Meta's own advertiser documentation: learning phase. It refers to the period when a new ad is being optimized by the algorithm, before it stabilizes. During the learning phase, Meta's systems are specifically calibrated to maximize reach. Scam operations knew this. Court filings cite communications between fraudulent advertisers, intercepted in related criminal cases, specifically referencing Facebook's learning phase as the optimal window to run before detection could catch up. The fraud didn't exploit a gap in the system. It exploited a feature of the system. Meta built a machine that knows what you want, when you're vulnerable, and how to reach you. They sold access to that machine to anyone who could pay. The scammers paid. The platform optimized. The victims reported it. The timer started. Every dollar Meta made from a scam ad placement was a dollar earned after the decision not to stop it. This is Redacted Chapter. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.